All right, everybody, what is happening? This is Coffee Regular. All right, I'm Mike, and also Mike is about to jump on. And it's Friday, and we're still on lockdown. But we got plenty of coffee, so all is good. Before Mike gets on, get your coffee or your cup. Jump on the chat. Tell us what you're drinking. That's good. Oh, and he's here.
What up?
What's happening, man?
Crack-a-lackin'.
Oh, not too much. Yay,
Oh, yeah.
Mike's here.
Got the techno! We got
Yeah.
the music!
Got the music, got the applause.
Fuck! Dance!
What's happening, man?
Another week in quarantine in the books.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Let's
are you
crack-a-lack.
drinking
Oh, shit. I forgot my coffee. Trader Joe's K-Cup.
Oh, Trader Joe's has good coffee, bro.
Dude, I got some of their Costa Rican something or other. Their whole bean,
nice.
really great. Super
Yeah.
great. And then their K-Cups are great.
Nice. I've never had their K-Cups.
They have like the biodegradable ones that are like super cool.
Oh, that's nice. I like those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking?
Iron Bean Coffee Company.
Iron Bean.
Rage.
What's
Rage
that?
is
Dark,
good.
light, medium?
I don't know. It's just good.
It's just coffee.
I think it's like medium dark. It's not a super dark roast. It's like a medium dark.
Yeah.
But it's good, man. Was it
It's
Thoreau
awesome.
that wrote that poem? Is it Henry David Thoreau? Rage.
Right.
Against the dying of the light.
Great little passage.
Yes.
And then that also reminds me of the Gray the movie with Liam Neeson.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't believe I've never seen it, but
That's a good movie.
You know what I just got? Bad Boys for Life.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
You got
it came out.
Or have you watched it?
I watched it.
Is it good?
Oh, it's great. It's actually okay. So me and my best friend, we love the Bad Boys movies because they kind of parallel our friendship. Because the first Bad Boy movie, I didn't realize, I'd forgotten it came out in '95.
Yeah.
And then the second one didn't come out until '03. But
Yep. And Will Smith really hasn't aged.
Not much. No, he really. But like, if you should go watch Bad Boys 1, he was real skinny. This is before Ali, and he was actually he was all like trying to be shirtless and running stuff. And it was good. It was age appropriate, I would say. It's supposed to be 25 years in the Bad Boy verse. What's up, Miss Krista? And they're all like getting ready to retire, and Mike Lowry still wants to be an action hero, but he's not quite his old self. He's still got some stuff though. He's still good, and they're clashing with the new generation a little bit. And Marcus is hilarious. Like, I think I kind of grew up to be Marcus instead of Mike, which is making me laugh really hard.
You are the stay at home, like he's a dad, he's like
he's very much he's very, very dad. I'm like action hero version of Marcus, but
hilarious.
It's really it was really funny. Like I was really identifying with that. And the kids, like his daughter, like you remember from Bad Boys 2 when the kid comes to the door for the date, motherfucker, you look 30. They got the same kid. Yeah. It's the same.
Oh,
people.
No shit.
It's the same one. Yeah. So they have a baby and they get married. It's freaking hilarious, but it's the same people.
That's so funny.
So it was dope, man. I had a fun time watching it.
I like when they have callbacks and casts and they have them come back and shit. That's great.
Yeah, and there was just enough tiebacks to the old movies that it was its own thing, but it had like some really funny references to older stuff. And yeah, and it was just overdone enough, it's supposed to be.
Right.
It was just over the top enough, just slightly amplified, and it was just funny. I really enjoyed it.
They gave us what we wanted.
Uh-huh. I really did. Yeah, it's definitely what I wanted as a fan. And I called my best friend that day because it was his birthday. That's why I watched it.
Right.
And we like thoroughly discussed it. It was pretty cool.
Like, this is how it happened.
Yeah. Hey, what's up,
Pack of
PBG?
Skittles
Yeah.
and some Bubblicious.
Tropical fruit Bubblicious and some Skittles.
Damn them, Mike.
Yeah.
Damn them. I
Yeah.
love Martin Lawrence, dude. He's had, I believe he's had a resurgence in his like stand-up career as well.
Yeah, he started
I'm
doing
not
stand-up
mistaken.
again.
Which
He
is
was
sweet.
funny. I don't know. You were probably a little young for Def Comedy Jam.
A little bit.
Oh man, he was hilarious on Def Comedy Jam, dude. I used to watch the hell out of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took weird advantage. We used to get to HBO in the summer times when I was a little kid. We just did it for the summer, and I would basically watch like Def Comedy Jam and boxing.
Right.
I'd very rarely watch movies. I would just like sit and watch
fight
boxing.
action.
Yeah, boxing and like inappropriate comedy.
Right. Oh, dude, yeah. I'm trying to. That's where I first got access to Dude, Where's My Car? Like when I was
that
like,
movie's hilarious.
yeah, just young.
What's mine say? Sweet,
sweet.
What's mine
And
say?
like the entire movie is just them like kind of bang like alien chicks and whatnot. So it's just kind of goofy.
Oh yeah, that is a funny movie. I should own that.
It is, and yeah, the tattoos that reference has carried on through so many different things. It's stayed true till today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see. So, oh man, lost where I was going. I started talking about movies. We're gonna descend into movies again. Oh, I got one more thing. I just got Hitman 4 as well. So.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be sweet.
I'm excited.
What was training like this week?
Training was I'm ramping back up. So I've given myself a couple weeks to get used to like death physical therapy, and I've been slowly like putting other stuff back in. I was real light with like jiu-jitsu training and light with my morning warm-up stuff, and I've started to ramp that back up this week. And so I'm up to like a full morning warm-up, and we were doing jiu-jitsu, but like it was so funny. On Wednesday we were training, and we were doing we do this thing sometimes where one of us does a drill on Gary and another one does a drill on the wall.
Yep.
And so I'm drilling on Gary and my daughter's drilling on the wall, and she goes, Papa, a spider. And I went, okay. And I get to spider, and I'm like, spider. So I've never had a spider problem down there. It's weird. This is like the third and fourth spiders we've seen. So I had to clean a bunch yesterday.
Clearly want to train.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they did. But she's like, spider. So I got the spider, and then she goes back, slides down the wall, and goes, and she goes, another spider. And she's like, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm out.
And I'm like, all right, we're done training today.
She's like, the heart rate has jumped up from the spider. We're good.
Yeah, we were fine. Like, she's, I'm out. This is done. Starts taking her gi off. She's like, nope. So yeah, that was funny. So that was so today, like I went down yesterday and like vacuumed the ceilings, and then just kind of proceeded to do that to the entire house.
Right.
And like ceiling vacuuming, and then got everything all cleaned up and pristine, as pristine as you can get, and so we're back. We're good.
Yeah.
I need
back
to get
to
some
spiders.
I need to get some proper mat cleaner though. Or some suggestions on what I should use. You're in on that. I haven't.
Yeah. I've cleaned many a surface in my day, especially many a matte surface.
That's man.
You can get. It depends on how hardcore you want to go. I mean, you can go.
Well, I guess
chemicals.
More specific, my question would be: is I don't want it to smell real strong.
Right.
Like I like what you use to clean the mats because it doesn't like disintegrate your brain when you breathe it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what the brand. I don't know what the brand is right now, but like it's this one that I've used recently is like a concentrate, and like
Yeah.
you push a button. It's like a flow system on the wall. You push a button, it like concentrates or like it mixes the concentrate with water, and then puts out like the proper amount or whatever in the canister. We have like the Roundup canister.
Murali,
Um,
what's happening?
so like, but in the past, like some places I've used bleach and water. You know,
Yeah.
uh, so, actually, there was a period of time where we used like a really nice colloidal silver cleaner.
Hmm.
It was very like high end, like medical grade shit that someone had to lead into, but that was some nice shit.
I'd take that hookup, but damn, yeah.
Right. So like you could look into those because like since you have such a small space and stuff, it might be worth the investment
Yeah.
slash just like your lifestyle, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
cleaner. Um, or you could start to go just like natural, like the probably start to make your own out of like some type of like tea tree oil or some sort of vinegar or some shit, you know, start to see what doesn't
Mm,
leave a film, it doesn't leave an odor, you know.
I
Um,
gotcha.
and then let's see, I'm trying to think of the most primitive shit that I've used.
Pine
um,
saw.
you could probably so like Dr. Bronner's, like you could
Oh,
probably dilute that a good bit,
I didn't even think about
and
that. Yeah, I could just use the Broners.
you know what I mean?
Works good
Because
for my
like the way that
skin. Why not for my
I
mats?
mean, the way it finishes and stuff, like you could just like a little bit of that, you could dilute it, or like mix out like a little bit of vinegar or something, you know, and create like a pretty good little cleanser
Yeah.
without leaving like a dirty film. And you know, I hate so that's the thing. I'm particular about what it feels like afterward too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So like if it's too slickery and I might slip and fuck my knee up or some shit because of that, like not interested. So
Hmm.
you got to have a good surface afterward too.
Agreed. All right.
I'm trying to think of other things. Fuck, like I mean, our mat space at the house is so small. We just had the Lysol wipe for a
Mm.
minute. Like that was killing everything. So it's all good.
Mm. Ooh, Miss Krista says white vinegar to clean everything. Mix with Dawn
Vine-
and water to cut grime. Mm.
Vinegar is just the shit. And Dawn. Dawn is like one of
Dawn is also
those.
the shit.
Yeah.
Dawn worries me though because it's a soap that's designed to be rinsed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to rinse it off. So I
Right.
don't like to use it to mop a mat.
Maybe if you like once a year, you just like heavy scrub down and then like rinse down kind of.
Yeah, I'd have to figure out how to do that because I mean yeah, there's a drain in my basement, but it is now not
Yeah.
really set up for water.
Drainage.
Yeah, this is a good
Well, like
idea though.
the
I like
thing
this.
about your mats is like you don't have tape, so you don't have like the glue and like that additional sticky shit. So
Yeah,
that's good.
mm, yeah.
But if you ever did want to link them, you should do like the Velcro style one.
I want to do that, but I don't know if I think I'd have to get new mats and get the
You think so?
yeah. I mean, if I ever do get new mats, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting those the
Right.
Velcro link ones. And then basically the white mats I have now, I'll probably give half of them to you and then use the other half for the walls. But so maybe someday. But
Right.
yeah,
There's always evolution.
If Dollimar wants to sponsor us,
Yes.
yeah.
Send us some mats.
Uh, actually, I priced out mats for the throw deck a
Oh
while
yeah.
back. Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's
Never
not
is.
it's not like you can they actually have a lot of really good used specials too. You can get real good mats, the link ones with the Velcro and everything, and it's not bad. But
Okay.
hopefully this summer we're going to be able to build that.
That's legit.
Go phase one on my backyard right there. Bam, will be good.
Throws at the
But
house.
yes, throws at the house. I'm gonna make like a whole like training shrine out of it. It's been building in my head. I'm just gonna Miyagi that whole side of the yard, basically.
I mean, with all the stuff that we've done, I mean, isolating and quarantine, it's the best way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm ahead of my time. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Just in case, or if you just like can't make it to training, you're good.
yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. So, yeah.
So with like your whole idea with your training room and whatnot is to have just one, you've educated yourself, two, you've given yourself the tools. And now you just have like intuitive training at the house. So like that's the next level, I think. Is like having the obviously the knowledge, these equipment, but also just the intuitive flow of your house to make your workouts the way you want. Like you have throw deck outside, but you can scoop that off, have some furniture on it. Great. You can have mats in the basement. You know, you can still do other stuff down there. The Kung Fu movie room, obviously, and the training space. So like, it has a dual purpose, obviously, like living, but also training. Also training. So
I mean, the basement is basically my dream bedroom for when I was 15.
Right.
Because I lived in the basement when I was 15, believe it or not, next to a loud ass furnace.
Yeah.
But it was bad. And like, it's, low ceiling. And I would lay in my bed, and a really comfy bed though. And I'd be like, all right, what do I want it to be? Because there was space. There was all kinds of space down there.
Right.
But like half of it was from my mom. And like I had my own door to go to the outside. And then there was the loud furnace. And I was like, if I had all of it, then basically if I had all of it, it would be what it is now.
Right.
Plus a bed. But I'd actually fit my bed under the stairs just because. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have a fortress, and that's kind of what it is. It's just a big fort, like.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
With a massive purpose and I think, a great purpose, obviously.
Yeah. The dream purpose, it works.
Yeah.
But
my variation
yeah
is out in the woods. That's like the only difference.
I saw a thing on Instagram yesterday, an ad for like some sort of bio-friendly pop-up house thing, and we're like domes of some sort. I was like, "Ooh, that's what he needs." At work for training.
Dude, I've been seeing like tons of people making like tiny houses out of like storage units and shit. I'm like, I'll get 3 or 4 storage units. I'll slap them in a hillside, like you're gonna stuff them underground, or a tree house. I mean,
yeah, well, no, like oh no, I can't think of it. The shipping crate houses, where like those big like metal shipping crates. There was it was a show. I guess it was on like HGTV or something, but I saw it on Hulu. There's a whole show about people building houses out of those things.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Some of them are like massively elaborate and like that's cool and all, but like
some of them are real simple. Some of them are crazy. Yeah,
I would want that. The point of it is simplicity to me, and like efficiency. So like I wouldn't want to have like insane shit packed in there, but like if everything had a purpose, dual purpose, multiple purposes, right? Sick. But then also like being able to train and stuff there, like having mats and having coverage and space for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, then that kind of it plays into the dual purpose action of it. But also, like, you can put that shit on the roof. You could have like a section built out, and it's on top of a shipping container, so it's solid. You could spring the floor and have a whole thing.
It could be that so sweet.
Yeah, I gotta have like a badass Zen garden. I've always wanted a water garden, like a rock and water garden, and then all my food gardens, of course. But like, I could go there and just like have my own personal waterfall, basically, and just chill.
Right.
I mean, if we're going like dreamscape, go as far as possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fuck it, you gotta. Like I really didn't take much convincing. I was like, Brooke, we're gonna live in a treehouse storage container treehouse situation, and she's like, okay. Like, thank you. So it's not. She's not like against it,
No, man, because they're so versatile. You could really, and they're cheap. You can build some really nice stuff.
And get like some solar, and get some wind energy going on. Like so many opportunities,
Yeah,
but it also like it plays into my like off the grid fantasy just enough. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, the cool thing is if you get solar, if you invest in the batteries as well.
Yep.
Those batteries are getting a lot better, but they're really stupid heavy, right?
Right.
And so like putting them in like a house, like we looked into it for my house, but it was like where we'd have to put them, and they just cost a lot, and it really wasn't worth it, right? But if you built from the ground up and you were using shipping containers, and your point was to be off the grid, you could just have a space for them.
They have a whole fucking shipping container of batteries.
Yeah, you just have a space built in for them. It wouldn't be a retrofit anywhere.
Yep.
And I'm telling you for a fact that even with the few solar panels that I have in Ohio, cloudy ass Ohio, we make enough energy to run our house,
Yeah.
like
That's all you
straight up.
need. That's
Yeah. So
sweet.
I mean, yeah, it's sweet.
So, yeah, that's just. I mean, obviously had plenty of time on my hands, so I've been fantasizing about that sort of shit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, me too. I've been totally building an addition on my house. Uh, it's gonna happen, man. The deck is phase one, but I don't know how many phases there will be. But I have the first phase and the last phase, like just.
And however many phases in between.
Yeah, that's fluid, but it's very possible.
Yeah, 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 that's the fun part of it. It's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, it's doable. Like
And
so.
like the best part of the quarantine is like, well, might not have another chance. Let's fucking get it.
Yeah, seriously. Mm, mm.
um, but so we're talking mastery today. Like that's our sort
Mastery
of.
today. Yeah, that was really cool. I'll post that thing that you sent me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I just put it up
for
in my
those that
story on Instagram.
for those that have never watched the YouTube channel, there's a lot of information there in the video. I put all
Yeah,
the extra stuff in there. It'll be on that for sure.
yeah. I just posted that article and like a
Callum,
couple
what's up?
videos to my story. So
Oh, very
go to my
good.
Instagram.
Yeah, check out Boom Boom's Instagram. It's good. But it,
It's
it
up in the
posed
story.
a really cool sort of thought process on mastery
Hmm.
of not as a collection of moves or as like sort of an infinite knowledge thing. It was like a flow state, like MacGyver flow state
Yeah, and
version of mastery, which I love.
yeah, it's just kind of like allows you like what can I piece in? It's a lot of the what if, the what if training, just the conceptual push,
Yeah.
which I thought was
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, but like get to be able to access the conceptual push as
Hmm.
far as just drop in and just kind of understand how it works.
And giving yourself permission to not go like ABC 1, 2, 3
Hmm.
and to like skip around and like a lot of times like recently before the closure of the earth, um, I was doing a lot of like reverse type stuff. Like we're coming into like this grip, and this is what we're doing with this grip. This is what it leads to. This is what's a possibility. Play the what if, and do and play games and just see what happens for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
They talked about the teacher rather than like holding on to being the keeper of the secret knowledge that's spoon fed. Just the
right? Which
person that
is,
just sort of yeah,
I mean, we
being
both experienced that.
we've been there with the secret moves and all that shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
and but we've also I think we've both been to the other end of it where the teacher is just a facilitator.
absolutely.
We've both been taught that way. We both prefer to teach that way. Of that, here's a few bits, play with it. And then like small corrections, like oh, don't stick your elbow out. Okay, yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
And then you
Uh,
start to learn from like the base of technique, like biomechanically. Yeah.
right. I really like because that you can start to like look around the room and see a mechanical mistake on the spot, and you have to see and correct it on the spot and verbalize that quickly. It's like that's
Hmm.
another challenge for you. So if like you can do that, you're like if you're dropped into that like teach flow, you can do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I was just thinking of an interesting example. Long ago, at a school I trained at, I was in a Hapkido class, which was funny because Hapkido is almost real. It's like close, but not
right?
quite.
Like
You know,
90% there.
it's almost there. It's so close, but it's very dependent on A, how you practice, and uh, like B, that you know that you're not quite able to do it. That like that is not a realistic reaction. That is a safe reaction. There's a
Right,
difference,
right,
right?
right,
So where I
right.
was training, they didn't know that. It was real to them, right?
Okay.
And so it was funny because they put judo in all the time too. And so at the time, I thought my judo was good. My judo's okay. My basics of judo are good. Hapkido was real good for what it could be, right? And so they would do like weird shit. And so I would like just really joint lock people. They'd be
Mm-hmm.
all like, shit, think they were doing shit. I just do it for real. They'd be like, ah, right? Because I'm a dick and I'm just like, I thought it was funny, right?
Like game time.
But then I remember like two things when they do arm bars on the ground or when they do any kind of like a back throw, basically like a monkey flip, right? And it's sort of a back throw, foot in the hip or the chest and throw them over your head, right?
Yeah.
I remember throwing a dude and he got all like trippy on me, like you got to feel which way I'm gonna go, and you have to feel the connection. And I'm like, no, I don't. I tell you where to go, dude. I'm throwing you.
Right.
He's like, no, no, you have to feel it. I fucking threw him, and he went the wrong way. And I was like, I threw him to the right, and he went to the left and fucked himself up, like
Yeah.
couldn't because he couldn't land right. And I'm like, feel it, bro. Right in my head, I didn't give that back to him because I would have started a fist fight. But then I did it again to someone else, and they went the wrong fucking way because I started throwing left side. I started throwing left side. Everyone was throwing right, but putting their right foot into the back. So I started putting my left foot in and doing it because I do everything both sides, right? And everyone was falling the wrong way. And I'm like, they're all diving into it. I'm like, that is nuts. And it was a weird like mind fuck for me because I'd never trained with anyone like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and then the other time, like when we went into an arm bar on the ground, they did one kind of arm bar, and they did it kind of wrong now too. The more I know about jiu-jitsu, like the more I'm like, oh my god, that was horrible. But I kept just kind of going into different arm bars. I had like 3 or 4 back then that I would do, all pretty much copied off like Ronda Rousey and MMA stuff. But this was even before Ronda. This was all, so it was Olympic judo as I was copying off of. And so I was basically doing just straight up like of the time judo arm bars, right? And the dude teaching would come on, correct me. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I'm like, okay, you do this arm bar and you pinch here, and it was so weird because he kept the arm elevated in between the knees. He never like put it down onto your body. And he's like, pinch your knees and have it elevated and push. And I'm like, what?
You're like, why?
Their arms floating? What? And I'm like, so mastery is a funny thing because it's based on your personal reality. All right, so yeah, long story to get to where I'm going is like this dude teaching was a very good martial artist. He was really fucking good. Like he was like great. But you could tell where he fell off the fucking cliff of master syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Of no one challenged him anymore, and he dropped into total fantasy, and everyone around him believed it. And then an asshole like me comes in and doesn't.
Right.
And by then I'd known him for 10 years. So I saw him as a human, not as master, whatever.
Right.
And so we would very like subtly butt heads all the time. Just because I'm a dick and I don't put up with that. But I won't be blatant asshole about it. I will just sort of very subtly be like,
You gotta question it. You gotta question stuff.
I'll subtly question it, but I won't shut people down in class, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you're so deep in master syndrome, that pisses you off, right? And it was weird because it was where mastery can go wrong. Because for his version of reality, he was amazing, right? But if you brought in reality, you're fucked.
Yeah, that to him, that armbar was sick. Like,
yeah. And like to me, I was like, no one even spars here. How do you? Oh my god!
Yeah. Jesus Christ,
this is so scary. Yeah.
Because I've seen that. More so, like especially like in self defense, like some.
Oh, just yeah. I mean, well, like self defense. That's very much like to people who don't spar in general.
Right.
You can get so like woo. Go ahead, keep going.
Like there's you can get so deep with that because you're not in self defense situations every day.
Mm-hmm.
you have no way to truly apply those things like outside of drilling and stress inoculation drills and stacking shit and blah blah blah. But like
Mhm.
no one's coming, no one's coming out with a machete every single day, and like you actually have to physically go through that every single day and practice that and deal with that. So like there's so
Yeah.
much conceptual shit out there, and like on paper and on video and all that stuff, it looks great. But I mean, again, it's going to come down to the person, the situation, that their skill level, blah blah blah.
Mhm. Well, then,
Right.
I mean, how, as far as mastery goes, if you're, all right, so if you're deep in and you just understand this shit, so
Mm-hmm.
like you're the rare person in anything that gets it and gets it for real, how would you introduce that in levels?
Right.
Because it's so hard to imitate. It's you can't fake it.
Yeah.
It's so like because even if you try to break it down and say, okay, this motion, like, what are you going to do? Tase them first? Kick someone in the
Yeah.
stomach and then do it? Okay, now we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So the interesting thing with that to me is like there is that for sure, but then there's also
Mhm.
the other end of like being able to pluck out things from absurdity. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So like I was watching a couple of videos of like this, like I think it was fucking like some sort of kung fu or some sort, right? Of
Yeah.
something. A lot of hand trapping and stuff like that, and head trapping and stuff like that. I enjoy that, respect that, because it allows me to see the continuation of motion of what I want to do.
Oh, Callum says, do you teach on YouTube? Would like to learn how to defend. How to defend YouTube. Um, how to defend YouTube? You hit the back button wherever your back button is on your screen, right? You hit the
And
back and you go back and it goes
you
away.
ignore people, you ignore haters and all that shit.
Yeah, but you
Um,
like their comments because they're commenting.
that's awesome.
No, we do have some
We aren't.
YouTube stuff. We'll show it to you.
Yeah, we do, and we're gonna grow it too. So
It's
that's
all
good.
good. We have separate YouTube things. We need to merge.
I
But
know.
I've been building
That's
that, dude. I have so many ideas for how to like tier that. Oh, it's gonna be sweet.
sweet. I love it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but like again, like I get the Tai Chi master. I don't even know what the fuck they were doing, but it allows me to see the entirety of the motion and all that stuff. So then I know where to stop.
Okay.
So like in my head, I see 100% of the motion that's able there, but I'm gonna stop at like 10-15%. You know what I mean? Like I only need 10-15% of his head to go through that far. I don't need it to go around all this far. Like
Hmm.
uh I know where to stop in my head because I've been able to spend time with grappling or whatever, and like I know where I'm gonna stop.
I
You
get
know?
yeah. Because yeah, so you can see the reality within it
Right. Yes, exactly. I can see the
because
reality
but
within the absurdity.
because of your basic experience and because you have relevant experience. Because experience
Mhm.
doesn't mean shit. It's experience doing things right that
Right, right,
means something, and that's tough to gauge.
right.
Yeah, because
Um, so and that's the thing. I've been doing this for a minute, hot sec, I guess, and I've been able to apply that like across different scapes and different arts and different things, and then that's what allowed me to pluck that type of conceptual thing out for me.
Mhm.
Like that. That's how I've picked stuff up and learned how I learn and blah blah blah
Yeah.
through that experience,
Uh,
across applying those things across different whatever, and seeing the parallels and seeing what works here, what works there, why this works here.
mhm. Once you actually got to do it against what skilled and unskilled people and see reactions and feel things, and be
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, I get it.
this is the thing.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
again, you have to try out everything a lot and fail at it to see like where you're going to stop, to know where you're going to stop, to what you actually are going to do and what is real.
Yeah, so that's a funny thing with learning too. Is how do I want to put this? How you start people off can be very important because that's
Hmm.
your base. And I mean, literally, like, what's your first 10 classes like? And that becomes the base of your entire experience and how you apply everything.
Right.
And so, where's the line? That's always been an interesting part for me as a teacher is to see how I initially present things to people and how they carry that on throughout the years. Because you have to correct technique is correct technique. There are correct things,
Yeah.
but showing someone how to do it correctly and then being like, here's why. Like that's such a
Yeah.
hard thing to grasp.
Right.
And plus, I mean, if you're only ever showed it correctly, then you don't understand like why it works. But then if you show it
Yes.
wrong, then you might memorize it wrong and be like, shit, you have to backtrack and relearn and it could end up being awesome, but
Right.
you gotta get there. So that's a weird conundrum because yeah, I'm to a point where I just know some shit and I'm like, oh crap, how did I get there? And how can I
Yeah.
start someone off? Because we don't like you don't know how far anyone's gonna take it. So you're like, well shit, how long's the path?
Right. Right.
What am I talking at you today?
That's why. Yeah. That's why it's like just so important to choose what you're saying when you're teaching
Mhm.
and whatnot, you know.
Oh god, yeah, it's dumb. To the point of dumb of how you have to really consider your words, yet just go.
Right.
Like be yourself and just go, but then you have to like almost to like you have like a weird transition phase of practicing to be yourself so that you don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And then you got to drop
There's
back in and just be you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that takes so
Ugh.
much practice. Like that's why I think people don't like teaching. You know, it takes a lot of fucking up in front of people. You know.
Oh, it does too. It does so much.
And
Yeah.
like it'll, it can fuck you up to fuck up in front of the wrong people and then have them rag on you and whatever. Like,
Oh, and then that's their version of you forever.
yeah,
Yeah, because some people you fuck up and they understand, and they're like,
right.
"That's
And they're like,
cool,
oh yeah, like,
that's fine." And then other people's they just judge the shit out of you, man.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, dickhead, easy.
yeah, back off, man. Yeah,
I'm human.
yeah. No, you're
But
not. You have a gi on and a belt higher than mine.
yeah,
You're not
yeah,
human. Oh,
dark. It's a dark belt. I want that. Um,
yeah, but it's not
no,
black,
you.
so you're not that good.
Yeah,
Ha
yeah,
ha. Hey,
exactly.
suck.
I want your belt, but you're a dickhead. That's the that there's like those memes of like what a brown belt is. Like that should go on the list.
No, yeah, yeah,
Treated highly, but also the most disrespect.
yeah, yeah. Seriously, you're not quite there, so we think you suck.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Okay.
Like, fine.
I suck. You're right.
But yeah, it's
Whatever.
just the way you have it's again you have to have it's verbal jujitsu in terms of word economy, what you're really trying to get across to who, and
Hmm.
you have to know your audience too. You can't
Oh,
just be
for sure,
spouting
man.
off. Yeah, you can't just be spouting off this, that, and whatever to people who
Eat,
are
pray, fu has entered the live studio. What's up, man?
what up.
Well, knowing your audience and knowing yourself. Of
Yeah,
you got to present it like you, but it has to be you appropriate for who you're presenting it to.
right.
Yeah. Like
So
as an
like the way,
exercise, I was gonna say as an exercise, if you're a teacher or just as a person, put on a character.
yeah,
Grab your favorite movie character or something and then like be that for however
it's
long.
yeah, it's a lot
And,
like me myself and Irene. Like there's just a different personality almost. There's like just an
oh
by an
yeah.
edge.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's fun to do. It's very funny. I used to sometimes do this anytime, like rare times I would go out to a club or something. Sometimes I would pick a character and just be that character for a while
Yeah,
and see how that guy would react. But
yeah,
then, like as a teacher, it'll fuck you up if you start imitating someone else as you're teaching.
yeah.
You'll run into all these roadblocks. Like, oh my god, I suck. No,
Right,
you're
right, right.
great. You're just trying to imitate someone else's style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that goes for your jujitsu style too. If you're like emulating something,
it does.
that
Yeah, and
isn't.
as a way in, that's a really cool way to do it. Like, try to be Marcelo Garcia for a match.
Yeah,
You'll die because
yeah,
only Marcelo can be Marcelo, dude. Um,
exactly.
I
You can fucking try though, and I
mean, but try.
have.
I have too. Oh, I want that butterfly sleep so bad, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just earlier in the class that I was teaching. We were doing like the Marcelo butterfly straight arm bar sort of. So
oh, dude, have you seen what Damian Maya's been posting on his butterfly sleep study on Instagram?
no,
Oh, he has. Well, he had such a video of Marcelo sleeping the fuck out of him.
that's awesome,
He's been doing a
dude.
whole series on it. Yeah.
The videos of Marcelo like just rolling with people are just better than a lot of his matches, I think.
Oh, when he's just playing
Dude,
and
like
he's just
people go
having
to
fun with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
talk about mastery.
I mean, and talk about like I was having this. Who was I talking about this the other day about? I was talking with the Han. Yeah, I was telling Jason Han about. We were talking about just watching different Taekwondo fighters back in the day and what we liked. And I was like, yeah, you have to know it to appreciate it. I was like, go watch grappling sometime. It's just a bunch of guys hugging each other if you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
But like Marcelo is so good that if you have, I'm going to say like blue belt understanding of jujitsu, you can appreciate him. But you got to be at least a blue belt, I think, to really even be fascinated by
Right. Because
it.
there's so much going on.
It doesn't look like it. He's so damn good that it doesn't look like there's anything going on. But then
Right.
once you realize what he's doing, and every bit is just amazing.
Yeah.
Every bit of placement, and he's just smiling and laughing, and you're like, "Look what his foot did! Holy shit, that's amazing!"
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And I guess like that can just depend on like how into it are you? How deep are you gonna take that apart
Hmm.
in
Well,
your own
that's
practice, in your
yeah.
head, etc.
Uh, is that does that play to your ability of a person? Like as a person, are you breaking stuff down? Have you
Right.
figured out how you can like get deep on the details? Um, is that a big part of mastery? Is you just got to be a nerd about it?
Um, I think there has to be like a conscious choice to merge the skill and the knowledge, you know what I mean? I don't think that'll happen naturally, like just without a choice, I suppose.
I guess yeah, we all know that person that's just insanely good and you have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like there's that whole like not every like really good competitors don't make good teachers, which is not
Mhm.
true. There's plenty of great teachers and competitors out there,
Oh yeah.
but there's plenty of those people that there's a disconnect.
Yes.
That you have the really great coach that never really did anything competitively. They just figured it out too late. Then you have the real great competitor who can't teach for shit because they never really thought about why anything works. They just show up.
Right.
And is mastery the merging of the two? In my mind, it is.
Yeah.
That if you can do both, and it's very possible to do both.
Hmm.
Like that's
Especially
not.
especially in jujitsu. Like
Mhm. Oh, I think the cool thing about jujitsu is if you're talking about like technique. Of one thing I really love about like a jujitsu seminar is someone shows up with two techniques and you spend a couple hours on that.
yeah.
You can just go so deep on, and it's just a variation. I'm not even talking like an arm bar. It's a variation on an arm bar. This is this particular thing that I do,
Hmm.
and and I love that.
Yeah. I think it's great. Like that's
I
the
think
thing.
that's
Like,
just cool. Yeah.
you know, I've paid a good bit of money for privates with people that are dope, to pick up tiny things, to see one thing or
Mhm.
take away one thing,
But yeah,
you know.
just within that one thing, like watching Marcelo do a butterfly sweep. It's just one butterfly sweep.
Hmm.
But if you really start to dig into it and see it, how it's adjusted for different people and how he's trapping this arm and putting this foot there,
What
and
he does before, after.
sure, yeah, what's the entry? Like he looked like
The
he was in a
energy.
horrible spot. Yeah, no, he was fine. Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
so much you can go in. So I like digging into like one move. Like I've studied just a basic off the line round kick my whole life,
Hmm.
and I've just strived to throw the perfect kick.
Yeah.
And I've hit it a few times. I've hit like a perfect off the line round kick and a Notabon, which is like a spin round kick.
Yep.
That was my shit for a long time, and I'm getting my spins back. By the way, I'm getting there. I want my
Nice.
spin again, but I've hit that perfect a few times, and where it's just not just a good spin, but it hits hard and like leaves a
Hmm.
footprint on the person.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is this is what you must do, and when you do something right, it just feels perfect.
Yeah.
And like this is why people do drugs. Like, you're like, this is why I don't do drugs because I'm chasing this kind of shit.
Right.
And like I've done it right 3 times in my life, and it was so amazing. Yeah, I gotta get it again. Yeah.
So, like, do you think obviously a part of mastery is like reproduction and making it consistent?
To be consistent with it. Well, that's a funny thing because I think sometimes once you get consistent with it, you almost get used to it, and it sort of
Mm-hmm.
loses the high.
It can slip,
So, but yeah, but you forget that it's mastered. Like
right?
you're chasing the high, but you're like, you fucking got it, dude. It's there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like chase the
Yeah.
other dragon, go chase a different one.
Get a new dragon, man. It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then link those dragons together,
Yes, and then have all the dragons.
and then make
Get
a
all the
super
Dragon
dragon.
Balls. Yes,
Yeah,
Super Dragon Ball EXZ PT. Come on,
exactly.
yeah. Uh,
And that's I guess now like a lot of time like this quarantine I've been reflecting and having odd memories and things. It's like that's what it's all kind of been is like collecting the pieces and
mhm.
collecting bigger pieces and then putting other pieces together. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's been.
Oh, totally,
That's
man.
what it is.
I've been digging into a lot of physical memory. Um,
Yeah.
Doing all this physical therapy, kind of rebuilding my body as stuff turns back on. I'll have weird ass memories about shit.
Right.
Like when I was doing this or doing that. I'm like, wow, why is all this just coming up? This is dumb.
Yeah.
But
I've been having some weird
it's
shit
been
like
really
that.
cool. Yeah, but like the better my left big toe seems to be the root of all my problems right now. If that fucker starts working again, like I'm just gonna like get the glow. It's gonna
It's
be
game
amazing.
over.
Yeah, but the better
Super
it
Saiyan.
works, the more things like flip on and my body balances out, and like you know, it's it's been really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, just sort of re-digging into mastery, like I lost some things. I mean, just there's
Yeah.
shit I wasn't able to do anymore that I used to be really fucking great at, and it's all starting to come back. So like you get to kind of feel like a little kid again, but then you get to
It's
be like, yeah, I don't know.
it just it's given me like that reignition of like passion for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah, I
brought
guess that's what I'm going for. Yeah.
yeah, I've had some like negative stuff come up and I'm like, ah, fuck that, that sucks. But then I've also had some like really I've had to pick gems out of it, you know, and then I've
Yeah.
also had some very obvious cool shit too. So like just kind
Mm-hmm.
of reinvigorated my passion for it, I suppose. Grappling and striking recently, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in
So
general, just training in general has been very reignited because I've just been able to take my time with it. But then
and
I've
the fact
also,
that
you know,
it's not like readily available. You can't go to the gym and do this. It's not right there. So you have to you're like, oh shit, this is scarce. You go in like a scarcity mindset of training and you're like, oh, I want to do this and this and this. Like,
mhm, yeah.
so
And then I guess for me too, I have a coach again.
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess I haven't had a coach like that in a long time. Like the Han is, we were doing back kicks the other day, and I've gotten a back kick sort of back. I've been able to do most of it, but I was throwing back kicks and he was coaching me and all the bits I was missing. And it was nice to just have like a kicking coach. I haven't had anyone coach
yeah,
my kicks in over a decade. And he's very good with cues, with demonstration. His technique is still fucking on point. Like, dude doesn't even train anymore. And his
right,
technique is still like he just demonstrates proper shit all day. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that keeps you
So
on
what?
point.
So that's an interesting like caveat too. Like that type of repetition, teaching
Mhm.
repetition. You know,
Mhm.
that plays into it. You know, that's a quality rep. That's a almost just like you're putting it on display a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, quality reps in two different respects because he's a physical therapist. So his quality rep, it's very range. He's quality repping for regular people. He's quality repping for MLS soccer players,
Yeah.
but and everyone in between. But of really basic fundamental movements, how to engage your left gluteus medius.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, here, athletic position on one foot, here, right?
Right.
When you move forward, here, or when you throw this kick, boom, like that, right? And so, like, I think that's why he hasn't dropped off at all because he's like, man, I only kick like 4 times a year. Like, it's yeah, I just get crazy for a little while and then I'm done. I'm like, seriously? Because he's still perfect. but that's part of why is he demonstrates proper body movement all the fucking time. That's his job, basically, right?
Yeah, so he's always just in that tune.
So it keeps his body nice. He keeps it working properly. And so then when you just go to do a kick, you put all the work in as a kid, it's still there. And so it
Knows
just
how to do
comes
a
out.
kick.
Yeah. Good
It's like when you,
lotion. Enter the studio.
it's
What's
like
up?
that video of that real old boxer just knocks the shit out of that kid, puts him on his
Yeah.
ass, like.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's very much that. Yeah.
But as soon as his head starts moving, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I know. You're like, oh
This,
shit, it's about to go.
yeah. So like, I
But
love that. You know.
I love that too. But yeah, it's cool to see a guy know how good he was in his prime. Like,
Yeah.
I never got to fight him, which I kind of like wish I would. He was never even on my list because he was too heavy. Like, kind of wish he was. I would like to train with the dude. We'll have to do that
Yeah.
sometime. But it's also cool to see that he doesn't really do it anymore, but it's still there. But then to know
Yeah.
why it's still there, because it's
Yeah.
not just because he's banging out reps every day. It's because he just is fixing his own body because by demonstrating people how to do shit right, because that's his job. So he's got to do it right all the time at all these different levels, and just these cool
And
like yeah.
so I mean, as a human, I imagine he had when he stopped competing and stuff. I imagine he had like some ups and downs with it. But
Mm-hmm.
I imagine with his education and then what he did, he was able to like plow through all of that with like his
Oh,
knowledge, essentially.
well, yeah, I think
And
it's very obvious that well, it's
I guess what
funny.
I'm getting at
Yeah.
with that is just like no, not everyone gets to sit with themselves after something and like break it down and know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, yeah. No, you can tell he definitely did that. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
how much he misses competition. Like, I mean, it's
right.
clear when we talk that I like fighting more than he does,
Yeah, yeah,
which is one of those things that, like, as a person, like, on some level, it pisses me off. Like, because I'm like, I fucking love to fight, and you're the one who's got all the medals. God damn it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
like, on a, bio, like, on a, like, physical therapist to exercise physiologist level, we're both nerdy as fuck about human movement,
Mm-hmm.
which is just cool. But then you can see how that nerdy human movement, like we've both taken it and applied it to kicking and footwork, and you know you can see like where that went.
Yeah,
And so like that was my way in of long ago. That's the whole reason that's what I majored in college was so I could kick people harder.
yeah,
Like, yeah, if I understand how the body moves, I can knock the shit out of people effortlessly. Yay!
yeah. That's
You
the
know,
goal, baby.
that's always the goal. All right, but it's cool to have another person. Like I was joking, I was like, I wish we were friends 20 years ago, dude, because you're the only other person I've ever met that's like me. Of he's a really nerdy fighter, but he's
Yeah,
like anatomy nerd. He's all into biomechanics and movement and shit. Like, it's very rare,
right.
and but it's been cool to see because it's like I said to have a coach again and to go back to the beginning and build.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then it allows me to sort of go back to the beginning and build with everything else I'm doing.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of mastery too, is seeking out more. I
But
mean,
more in the same shit you already know. It's
exactly.
not more as in like more moves. It's more as in just like farther down the
Other
rabbit
layers,
hole. More layers of the same thing you've been doing forever.
which is like you've taught me a bunch of shit. You learn from other sources, and it's the trickle effect, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to apply that shit.
Oh yeah, I mean you've
There's
done the same thing with me. Is that like even just talking about arm bars? Like fuck, dude. Day one, my arm bar got 100% better after one class with you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But then like I just got further down the rabbit hole.
yeah,
Same thing, but just keep on going.
yeah. I think that it's and then how kind of relating back to like some people are just like natural and shit. Like that's as when especially in jiu-jitsu when you're spending time in it, there's like bookmarks. At least there were for me. Like I always
Mm-hmm.
say, like it took me 10 years to learn footlocks because I had piles of work on my desk about footlocks, but I didn't really have anything about it. Then the
Mm-hmm.
last couple of years, I started to piece it together and it all collapsed into like one big thing and clicked for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that process took 10 years of fucking it up and running through things and just putting it on the shelf for a little bit, coming back to it and seeking out other people that knew
Yeah, you
more
had to
about
build
it
up
than
the
I did.
library to be able to understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
Mm-hmm.
and that was something I had lost by in competition and struggled with in classes and teaching. I didn't know. So like, I tried to
Mm-hmm.
round that shit out, and then same thing with like my physical therapy shit. Like I knew you knew stuff. So I was
Yeah.
like, help me.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where I'm at with the physical therapy stuff is I've been pressing up against this door for a long time of what I'm doing right now because
Mhm.
I was so close to understanding this. I had all this baseline shit in place and like so many of the things that I'm doing, I already know. I've already
Yep.
done, right? But then we come back at them again and I got a new person showing me things that has a different perspective and it's just, way better than me and it's the little nuances. I'm like,
Yep.
holy crap!
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
it just, it's been, yeah, that makes, yeah, but I guess, yeah, that is a huge part of mastery is just wanting to dig into the same stuff.
Yeah, like you dig into the weird shit and like the
Mhm.
benign shit that like no one else wants to. You're like, why is this that? Like, why is this happening this way? Or like, why are they doing this?
Mhm.
It just you dig, you go deep, homeboy.
Yeah. So like your graphics get better. It's
Yeah,
we're going for the best resolution possible.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with all of this is like I'm not to say I'm a master of anything. I'm on the
Sanjeev entered the
pursuit.
studio. What's up?
What's up? I'm always on the pursuit of it, and it reminds me of that Rafael Lovato quote. Like
Mhm.
it's like jujitsu is like the pursuit of perfection, knowing it's never attainable type shit.
Yeah, yeah, I have that on my wall. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that's
Yeah,
what
like
it
he
is.
distilled it down really well. But
Yeah.
that's what I've always said my favorite thing about Taekwondo was is I'll never be perfect at it.
Yep.
But then that kind of expanded to like sort of all of martial arts and training is that I'm constantly chasing perfection that I can't grab.
Yeah.
But that means you can always get better.
Right. And
Like that excites
there's a weird yin yang of anxiety with that. You know what I mean? Like you're like I
me.
can't get
Mm-hmm.
it, but I'm always gonna be trying to attain that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it
Yeah, that's
evens
what
itself back out.
for me from an anxiety perspective, I think once I was able to flip into the I'll never be perfect and go into the I'll always improve,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's
Yep.
just if you can think about it a way is that there's always an ability to be better because I don't want to hit the ceiling. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to be as good as I'm ever going to fucking be. Like
That's
that's
the thing.
depressing to me.
It's like at like the end of a video game, you found everything, you've had every level up, you have all this. There's nothing left. I don't want to hit that. I want to dig, 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 dig.
Yeah, I never want to be that. Like, cause yeah, what like I don't want to hit the end, know
Or you
everything,
hit
and this is
you hit the end of a series, man. It's just of a
it's
show that you love. You're like, damn, that's the end. There's no more. You want
you're
more.
like yeah, yeah, it sucks.
You can always dig
Yeah,
deeper with jujitsu,
yeah, and yeah, jujitsu lends itself to that because it's sort of it's so much. I mean, striking's pretty damn infinite. I know a lot about striking,
for
a
sure.
lot more than I do about grappling. So maybe this is why I think this way. But I feel like there's more to grappling and there's more to jujitsu than there was to striking. There's just more places you can go. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true because I was just so deep in striking for so long that maybe I went a lot of places
Yeah.
and I just haven't gone to a lot of places grappling yet. But it
Right.
just
Right.
seems like there's more. And it seems like it's a lot more sustainable
Yeah.
that I'll be able to do that forever. Whereas I'm
Yeah.
clearly aware that I don't really want to box anymore. I
Right.
don't want to get kicked in the head so often anymore. Like that's
Not
probably
as
not a good
much.
thing. But I certainly want to fucking grapple like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Like I laid that as a foundation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like and laid that into my brain early on and shit. And like I want to do this shit forever. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what I continue to do and like whether it's striking, whatever, I can always get back into jujitsu or like always have jujitsu there to be to be my sport wife forever.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
I can always whether if I did MMA, kickboxing, like that's the thing. I focused on that before and gone away from it, and then come back to it. It's always there for me.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu's always there for you.
As someone who was deep in Olympic Taekwondo for so long, especially as a kid and through my 20s, I thought I was always going to have that.
Yeah,
And I mean, by that, I mean not just the techniques and the sparring and the training, but also like the people that I was with.
right.
And I mean, that was the delusion for years because I would be like, oh, when one school closed, oh man, I moved. And then like school was that closed, and then another school, and then we left that school, another school. And I kept having that delusion like, oh, we're going to be together forever. I'm going to be able to
You
train
know,
forever. This is going to be great.
I
Yeah.
had similar delusions, but a big thing for me was
Yeah.
uh, seeing how like the early MM or some of how the early MMA dudes kind of turned out. Like some of them were like
Oh, geez.
drunks and like they just didn't turn
Oh,
out too
boy.
hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that was like a motivation to be like, oh, I want to kind of have stuff to really sit back onto, and like if I'm doing this, like I want to have stuff established and a good foundation here and there. Like,
Well, all the early MMA guys are pretty much my age and older. I'm kind of the second generation
uh-huh.
of that. And to see how we've turned out, to see someone like Kenny Florian or Michael Bisping of both guys have turned out pretty well. Even though Bisping's
Hmm.
falling apart, he doesn't really give a shit. He accepts it. He's like, "This is the life I wanted. Have fun, go." You
Right.
know? Or
But
Ken
it's like,
Flo is
yeah,
like master businessman.
yeah, yeah,
And to look at some other guys, like I won't name names because I don't want to like say bad shit about people
right.
that like are still fighting and doing
Yeah.
like just bad shit. Like they're just like you know, and that
And
does
too
bother
deep.
me. Yeah, and like I didn't want to be that guy, but I kind of wanted to be that guy that could fight forever. And then now I'm kind of realizing like I'm glad I wasn't that guy that fought forever. Because even though I probably would have just ended up like Bisbing, I would
Right.
love to have ended up like Bisbing, been a champion with like falling apart body. Cool. I'm financially stable and I'm champion. But then
Right.
I'm like, that shit actually hurts.
Yeah.
Like you don't say anything about it and you accept it and you laugh about it. But that hurts. It
Yeah.
sucks. It hurts all the time.
Yep.
And you just have to be all stoic and meditative about all that shit and just make it a part of you. And now that
That's
I've gotten rid of all the hurt. It doesn't hurt so much anymore. Like my
yeah.
back's a little sore right now. I'm
There's
like,
like
well,
a weird
that's
romance. There's like a weird romanticism with that, but then you start to like feel better, and you're like, ah, fuck that. Like,
fuck romance. I don't need
yeah,
romance. I need,
romance hurts.
yeah, romance hurts too bad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's weird to be on that side of it, and then you kind of bring in jujitsu. Of jujitsu's my second wife. Oh dear, oh dear. Was I ever truly married to Taekwondo, or was that just my mistress?
Right.
I thought judo was my side chick. Maybe
Right.
not. I don't know. Yeah,
There's a lot out there, bruh.
there's so many fish in the sea, bro. Yeah, but it is like I've kind of let go of the whole I'm going to train with the same people for the rest of my life bit and
Yeah, I've
embrace
had
just
that.
training and the art of
I've had
training.
that
Of,
part taken away too, so it's just like, nah, whatever.
uh But yeah, you're there too. That kind of what's left is just what you do,
Yep.
and your whole thing about how jujitsu is perfect. It's us who fucks it up. Well,
Yeah.
that's true of martial arts and training in general. And if you
Hmm.
can hold on to that bit, then you can kind of switch arts and change up your training. But then at the same time, like I look at something like jujitsu, it's adaptable to any age. So I'm really confident that it's something I'll be able to do forever.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
no,
I mean,
and
I
be and it'll be satisfying.
yeah, I've taught a class to like it was a very small class, but they were like 55 and up
Mm-hmm.
doing some jits back in the day, dog. Like crispy old dudes, but they were doing it. And we found ways to make it work,
Mm-hmm. And they were
And like,
enjoying it. It wasn't like
oh yeah,
it wasn't like I'm not hitting that hard, I'm not moving that well. It's like, no, this is effective, and it
they were just
it
happy to do
feels
it.
good. Yeah, yeah.
And that was like, that's what's super fulfilling to me. One of the things that's fulfilling to me.
Oh yeah, me too, definitely.
But yeah, but it's coming out, kind of zooming back out of all of it is kind of like, you have to want to. Can't force
Mm-hmm.
any of that shit on people. Like, like I can trip out and have like a crazy nerd attack about something, and people have this look on their face and just be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So then I have to like dial back and be like, "All right, I want this, this, and this. I'm gonna go talk to myself in the corner." Like,
Yeah, I'll be back.
so,
Uh,
so again, you can't force it to people if it's not there. Some people be like, "Holy fuck, that was awesome," and light bulbs and blah blah blah. But then other people might be like, "Yeah, I always wanted this," and that's fine. All of it's fine.
yeah, no, it's all good. And I guess being able to accept everyone at their level
Yeah.
is an interesting thing too.
And that goes back to knowing your audience and all that good stuff.
Tomaz, what's happening? Yeah, I guess knowing your audience, knowing yourself. But I don't know. That's probably why we're friends. Is we're so fucking out there as far as how deep we get into just training.
Yeah. Yeah.
As yeah, like we very much. That's like kind of the impetus of the podcast is we're having conversations with each other that we've never been able to have with another person.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa,
Just
you
like,
understand this? Crazy.
that's part of like, I was talking about like weird memories and things coming up, just like conversations that I've had with people and like the looks on their faces about when I've said certain things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, damn, they were not having that. Like, you know what I mean? But then like other times when I've had like light bulb moments and people are like, yeah, like super engaging that way. So
right there with you. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just realized that I'm out there a little bit on the fringe, and that's good for what I'm doing. So
yeah. I mean, considering the lifestyle you've chosen,
yeah,
you gotta be out there, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm like, I don't know, like what quote unquote normal or whatever is, So like, get with me or don't. I don't know.
Boring with button-up shirts is what normal is, bro. Fuck that.
Not interested. That dude, I did that shit too in high school, and and after a little bit, not interested. That's the thing. Like that's a monkey suit to me.
Oh yeah. For me, the only way I could ever do it is I totally had to go comic book secret identity about it. Like that summer I worked at a bank in college, because one of my students' moms was the president of the damn bank. So she's just like, you want a job, here's a job. Right. So that's how you get everything in life, through like teaching and through who you train with. But I dressed up every day and I did like myself like a mad scientist hairdo. And I literally like created my Bruce Wayne. In the back of my head the whole time, I'm like, I'm actually Batman. No one fucking knows.
Yeah.
But like that was like I had to make a fantasy of it to be able to handle it.
Yeah,
weird. Chili Jelly, what's going on?
I have like a flip to that fantasy.
Oh no.
So like different perspective, right? So like when I was younger, I had this like black Mercedes. Okay, sounds insane, right? Was not insane.
That's what I drove.
My dad picked it up for $500. He knows he's a Mercedes mechanic. He picked it up for $500, made it runnable. That was it.
Awesome.
This fucking car was garbage. Okay. But it was a fucking Mercedes. Okay. So there's that. And then I was a host at a really nice restaurant for a while. I'm not going to say what, but like I had to wear ties, all that shit, wingtip shoes.
That shit. With your perfect photogenic smile. Oh my God, you'd own that.
Well, okay, so maybe that way, personality wise, I fucking hated it. It was the worst. It was the worst position for me there. But I was forced to do it for like 3 years. Anyway, I was in suit and tie driving the Mercedes to work one day, smelling like motherfucking food because I hadn't washed the shirt in 3 days. I smell like shit. I feel like shit because I think I was hungover because I drank a lot at the time because I hated the job. But the perception was Mercedes, nice, like you said, the smile, the hair, the hair, and the tie and shit. I'm turning the corner. This woman like pulls down her sunglasses and like looks at me and shit or whatever, making it obvious. And I'm like, you don't want any of this. This is horrendous. Like, it looks cool.
Like,
It looks
hey,
great.
girl.
No, I'm like, this looks great. Just, nah, like, it's a fucking facade. Talk about a facade. So like you don't want that. Looks
That
funny.
kind of reminds me of college, of when I used to train outside all the time. I'd be outside. It's I mean, it's Athens. No one wears shirts,
Yeah.
so you'd be all shirtless. And from a distance, I look ripped as fuck. Like you couldn't tell how skinny I was because I had real broad shoulders. And people be
Got like
checking me out.
the George
Yeah.
St. Pierre wide frame. Like,
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, like I mean, I was a 35er, every bit of a 35er at the time,
yeah.
and 6'1",
Like,
135.
he's white. He's wiry.
Yeah, wiry dude, right? And
He's
so the people
wiry.
be like, sexy ladies be checking me out. I'd be like, "What's up, girl? You can't handle this. It's too bony. No, it's no good."
You're like, this will hurt you.
You can't see all the bruises from this distance. Everything's
Yeah.
broken right now. Like, yeah, I'll be running up this hill, but now it's all broke.
Yeah. It's funny shit. That's funny.
That's good. Oh man, but I never got to drive a Mercedes. Damn, I had a Honda Civic. It was 5-speed though. But,
Dude, this thing was a golf cart on fucking with a Mercedes emblem. Like, this thing sucked. Barely ran.
It's all about image.
Yeah, exactly. Starting it was a bitch. Didn't have heat. Didn't have nothing. The radio didn't work. Like, nothing. But it rolled. Had a Mercedes emblem on it. It was black. I'll give it that too.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, dude. So I mean, let's go long today because I'm really digging this. All aspects of mastery. We both have sort of beginning stories of the image of I don't want to say mastery, but at least awesomeness.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you couldn't smell us, we were awesome.
Right.
But to start there, I think is really cool because it's almost like the fantasy of it, right? Of if you're just going for the look's pretty easy to get.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. On paper, black Mercedes, suit and tie, whatever, looking good.
Yeah.
In reality, it was some bullshit.
Yeah. So to understand the difference between the on paper versus the this is how it actually is.
Yeah.
Like
and that,
really got.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you got to.
It just shows people's like perception and like how important that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perception is 9/10 of reality, my friend.
Right.
But when we dig into that 1/10, you're like, does it change your perception?
Right. It's like as soon as I stop, roll down my window, and I start talking to that lady, she'd be like, "Oh, you smell like French fries, and this is get out of here." The sunglasses would come right back up. Like, yeah, the sunglasses coming right back up.
Yeah, she put it back on. It's like that progressive commercial. I can save you. And then
and it's just
in the car. Oh shit!
Should just pretend to be blind. Just my luck.
Oh man. Oh. All right. I don't know. Where? How do you bridge the gap? You just got to keep moving forward, I guess, right?
So, like, yes, but that in my head, or at least in my experience, I should say, like, it's been a mixture of like high quality and mid quality. I haven't had the luxury of being in like one high level place for a long time.
Yeah,
I've bounced around, been tossed around, picked up a lot of stuff.
See, I love that though too. Like at the time, it seemed shitty.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's part of the weird like memory thing I've been talking about. Like in retrospect, like I am so happy that I've had like 18 instructors. Like, I've had to suffer some fucking fools and some assholes. Don't get me wrong.
But that's been good too. I mean, I opened up with the story of kind of suffering a fool, even if it was good in a certain way. It opened up. It let you know, like, oh shit, I'm better than I thought.
Yes, yes, that
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, I
It
thought I
allowed
really
that.
sucked. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that. But like it also like it showed me like I've had some weird reflections and like it showed me that I like accidentally or just like naturally took the high road in some situations.
Yeah,
Not to
yeah.
say, not to say that I'm fucking perfect. I've done some fucked up shit.
I'd say you never took the low road. Sometimes you
No,
took the low
I've
road. Yeah,
done
sometimes
some
we on the
fucked up
low.
shit.
but
Nothing perfect, but
yeah,
overall, I've had some better experience where I like, oh, like in reflection, I'm like, oh man, they are, and even gotten to the point where I'm like, damn, they fucked me over and they were hurting pretty bad, obviously, like to do that to me, like, so
yeah.
like having it come from a place of empathy and shit too, and not just being like
To be able to
angry
turn it
or like,
around. Yeah.
yeah,
To make the joke and then realize that, like, oh yeah, they were being a dick because of what was going on in their life.
oh yeah, a
Like,
thousand
it's not
percent,
all
and
about
like,
me. It's not
right,
just they can just hate my ass. I was just I was just their target for the day. It's okay.
exactly. I was their target for several years.
Yeah, yeah, for many years every day. Yeah, okay. But
Right. But but yeah, exactly. So I think that's part of it as well. Is and that's what I'm looking at this quarantine time, and I'm grateful for it. Like I've been having a ball, kind of just like reflecting on stuff and like
Mhm.
just digging into stuff. And Brooke will sometimes be like, "What are you thinking about?" I'm like, "I don't like fourth grade. Like I don't know, like, like just some random bullshit. Like
That's
you
awesome.
know."
Yeah, like I've been
So
doing that too. I've been really like as I'm training that it's really like lots of interesting things have been popping up. And some of it's the same old stories and some of it's new stories and some of it's just like weird memories. Yeah,
yeah,
and just like you just kind of get to hash it out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I was so like my face was so into like what was right in front of me that I hadn't gotten to reflect in a long time or had time to.
Mhm.
So I had a lot to unpack.
Yeah, to sort of get out of the present moment and go back and unpack it. There's definitely
Yeah,
a aspect of mastery too, because you have to break it down.
yeah,
You got to understand what
got
you
it.
learned and sort of turn it into Lego pieces. You know.
Well, yeah, that tells you what to do next, like,
Mhm.
or at least gives you hopefully a sign or something, you know?
Well, yeah, it's like Johan Hari saying about how depression is actually just a sign of unfulfilled needs, basically.
Right.
Of why are you? It's mourning your own life because it's not what it should be or what it's supposed to be. Well, then, like, what the fuck are you sad about? And start moving in that direction. You
Yeah.
know, of if you're training and like something comes up, you're like, well, why am I thinking that? Okay, well, that's then if you start thinking of it that way as it's a guide, it's not just like don't go back to being shitty or it's a bad memory or something, right? But like it's why is that bothering me?
Yeah.
Or why do I have this happy memory? I fucking love that time. I love doing that. Well, why was
Right.
that so cool? You know.
Yeah. It just allows you to fucking tune into the best frequency of whatever, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, you can kind of tune it, and you can like, but the best frequency is the choice
Yeah.
because it's. I mean, is it easier to go down the bad road? Good shows and movies want me to believe
Yeah.
that everyone would choose the badness, and that's bad because bad is easy. I mean, good is just as easy, and it's just not as
Yeah.
easy to write a cool story about that.
Yeah. It's true. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes you choose bad, and sometimes bad happens, and it's a mixture and a snowball effect. Like,
yeah,
and that can
yeah,
put you in a rut, you know?
yeah, and you got to steer the snowball. Uh,
Yeah.
or who was it that pushed the boulder up the hill? Some Greek thing. Shit, I can't remember.
Sisyphus in the boulder. Is
Yes,
that it?
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you got to push that boulder up the hill.
Yep.
Right.
That's dude. That's jujitsu in my opinion. Like, that's it. You just keep pushing it up, rolls back
Keep
down,
pushing it up. Like
go again.
yeah, let it smash. It smashes over you sometimes, and then
That's like, I understand like drilling can get boring and shit, but like push the boulder up the hill again. You know?
for real.
Like,
Yeah, get deep on that drilling. Get weird about it. Why is my shin touching this part of Gary? What is that doing?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like just like that allows you like I've had certain classes where like, and this is the thing, people won't even know it, but I'm just like figuring stuff out live,
All
or
the
like
time. I love that. Yeah.
I'm figuring it out live, but also like as it comes to my head, I'm like, oh, this is serving this purpose here for this, and I say it almost like I'm spitting it out almost because I can't get it out fast enough because I'm like, oh, this is some new shit I'm discovering.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta
like
finish
someone
it.
get a fucking tape recorder. Like,
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that too. As you're teaching and like new things just happen. And
because even then, like even if nobody, I mean, obviously I want someone to take something from it and learn and blah blah. But even if like I learned something, I had a good day. You know, like
chili jelly. That's what she said. Okay.
yeah, I know. It's like I know. I was just like, lol.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the screen. I'm drifting away. So
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of cool. I love it.
yeah, definitely.
It's the fun aspect.
The pursuit of mastery is, I think pursuing it, you realize that it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why this is that mastery seems to be like a final level. I mean, maybe it's because I love The Last Dragon and you get the glow, right? You are
Right.
your own master, right? But they need I wish there was a sequel to that damn film to see what to do with mastery. I realize that
Right.
it's just like, yeah.
Then it's the continuation, man. It's the embodiment.
You just keep going around the circle, man.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
make other masters
Hmm.
and
Well,
teach
that is,
and I don't know. I love
yeah,
it.
teach and share and just keep on training and get deeper on that one move, man.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about it, like martial arts instruction and all that sort of thing is like one of the last oral storytelling pieces. If you think about it, like
It's true.
that's in touch. You know what I mean? Like podcasts and all that shit, great. But like person to person, you're explaining, I mean, math. You're explaining fucking biomechanics. You're explaining all sorts of things wrapped into this one
Strategy,
interesting thing.
tactics, injury management. Yeah,
Yeah,
all kinds of
there's
stuff.
so many aspects, and just like what you decide to plug in and pursue. Like, I just
Mhm.
think it's again go back to episode 1 when we're like, jujitsu is a fingerprint. There you fucking go.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the fingerprint. It's a lot of fingerprints. Yeah,
And
and
it's
you can just
each
yeah.
to each their own, and it's yours, and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
I
What
love
piece
it.
of the story from are you carrying on from all the other people that gave you a story,
Right.
and then what part is yours, and then
Yeah.
you kind of pass on that story. Yeah,
It's dope.
it is dope. All right, man.
All right,
This was
man.
fun.
I loved it.
This was a
And
good
I'm
time.
hungry now.
Yeah, I need to eat.
It's
I need to eat the
lunchtime.
foods. Definitely. But solid choice. Thanks for sending that to me, man. This was fun.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Uh, and until next week, my friend, maybe
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see
yeah.
each other in person someday.
Who knows? See
Yeah,
what the government says.
whatever. Although I have ideas for that. 'Cause we normally cast outside anyway. It's not like we sit close to each other. So
Yeah, we can make it work.
we'll figure it out. All right. All
All
right.
right,
Well,
y'all. Thanks for listening.
yeah, thanks for going on the rabbit hole with us.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Tune in
oh,
next week and
Abby, we're finishing up. Sorry.
yeah.
Don't
All
worry, it'll
right.
be posted soon enough.
Right.
But
Yeah, go listen to
yeah,
the past episodes and as always, keep your coffee regular.
yeah. Peace in, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.